Hey everybody, it's your friend Flixcape Media here, and today we're talking about something super important: mental health awareness. We all go through tough times, right? But sometimes it's more than just feeling down. Recognizing the signs of anxiety early on can make a huge difference. So in this video, we're decoding those sneaky signs of anxiety and arming you with coping strategies. Buckle up, grab your metaphorical decoder rings, and let's dive in. First up, let's talk about the physical symptoms of anxiety, because your body has a way of waving its hands when something's up. Have you ever noticed your heart pounding during a big presentation, or just thinking about an upcoming event? That could be anxiety. Anxiety can also lead to sweating, especially those dreaded sweaty palms. Shortness of breath is another common symptom, that feeling of not being able to get enough air. And let's not forget about dizziness or lightheadedness, because anxiety loves to mess with our equilibrium. It's like your body's own alarm system going haywire. Now, let's venture into the land of emotions, because anxiety loves to set up camp there. One of the most common emotional signs is persistent worry, like a little voice in your head that just won't quit. Anxiety can also lead to feeling restless and agitated, like you've had 10 cups of coffee but haven't slept in 36 hours. Then there's the feeling of being overwhelmed, like you're juggling a dozen flaming chainsaws while riding a unicycle. And to top it off, anxiety can make you feel irritable and moody, like the world's shortest fuse waiting to be lit. Anxiety isn't just about how you feel on the inside. It can also manifest in your behavior. Have you ever found yourself avoiding certain situations or places because they make you anxious? Like, maybe you'd rather walk 10 miles barefoot on Lego bricks than go to a party where you don't know many people. Or maybe you constantly check and recheck things, like making sure the oven is off 17 times before leaving the house. And then there's procrastination, anxiety's best friend. These behavioral changes can make us feel even more stuck. So let's talk about what we can do about it. Anxiety doesn't just mess with our bodies and emotions, it also loves to play mind games. One of the most frustrating cognitive symptoms is difficulty concentrating. Anxiety can also lead to negative thinking, that endless loop of what-ifs and worst-case scenarios playing on repeat in your head. Another fun cognitive symptom is racing thoughts, that feeling of your mind going a mile a minute. It's exhausting and can make it difficult to fall asleep, which is another thing anxiety loves to mess with. Sleep. Glorious sleep. Unless, of course, you have anxiety, in which case, sleep can feel like a mythical creature. One of the most common sleep disturbances associated with anxiety is insomnia, that frustrating inability to fall asleep or stay asleep. And then there's restless sleep, where you might technically be asleep, but you're tossing and turning so much that you might as well be doing a workout. And let's not forget about nightmares, those vivid, anxiety-fueled dreams. When anxiety messes with your sleep, it can make everything feel 10 times worse. It's not just our minds that anxiety likes to target. It has a knack for making our bodies feel just as uneasy. It also has a way of turning our stomachs into emotional punching bags, leaving us feeling physically ill. Ever notice that you get stomach aches more often when you're feeling stressed or anxious? It's not a coincidence. That's because anxiety can wreak havoc on our digestive system, causing a range of uncomfortable symptoms. It's like our gut has its own nervous system that's directly linked to our brains, often referred to as the gut-brain axis. And it's not just stomach aches. Anxiety can manifest in various ways in our digestive system. Anxiety can also lead to nausea, making you feel queasy and unsettled. That lovely feeling of wanting to hurl but not actually hurling can be incredibly frustrating. And then there's diarrhea or constipation, both of which can be triggered by anxiety. Because apparently, anxiety can't make up its mind about whether it wants things to move faster or slower in our digestive tracts, leading to a roller coaster of symptoms. Fun fact, the gut is often referred to as our second brain, highlighting just how significant this connection is. Remember how we talked about how anxiety can manifest physically? It's not just in your mind, it can show up in your body too. Well, it turns out our muscles are also big fans of jumping on the anxiety bandwagon. They love to get involved, making sure you feel every bit of that stress. One of the most common physical symptoms of anxiety is muscle tension. It's like your muscles are constantly on high alert, ready to spring into action. And when those muscles in our shoulders, neck, and back decide to tense up, they often bring their friend, Mr. Tension Headache, along for the ride. This can make even simple tasks feel overwhelming. You know, that throbbing, vice-like grip on your head that makes you want to crawl into a dark hole and never come out? Yeah, that's the one. It's like your head is in a constant battle. And it's not just tension headaches. Anxiety can also lead to jaw clenching and teeth grinding, especially at night. This can cause even more discomfort and pain. It's like our bodies are trying to release all that pent-up anxiety, even in our sleep. Our minds might be resting, but our bodies are still fighting the stress. We've talked about how anxiety can make us feel worried, restless, and overwhelmed, but it can also manifest as irritability and mood swings. These emotional shifts can be sudden and intense. It's like our emotional regulation system has gone on vacation, leaving us to navigate a stormy sea of feelings, and our moods are left to fend for themselves. One minute we're fine, feeling calm and collected. The next minute, we're ready to snap at anyone who dares to breathe in our direction. Small annoyances can feel like major provocations. The thing is, anxiety can make us feel like we're on edge all the time, constantly on high alert, like a rubber band stretched to its breaking point. This constant tension can be exhausting, so if you find yourself feeling more irritable and moody than usual, snapping at loved ones, or feeling overwhelmed by minor issues, it might be a sign that anxiety is trying to muscle its way into your life. Recognizing these signs is the first step towards managing them. Anxiety is exhausting, both mentally and physically. It's like running a marathon in your mind, except there's no finish line, and you're being chased by a pack of anxiety-ridden wolves. Fatigue is a common symptom of anxiety, that feeling of being constantly tired, even if you've had a good night's sleep. It's like our bodies are working overtime to deal with all the stress and worry, and eventually, they just run out of steam. And when we're feeling fatigued, it can be difficult to find the motivation to do anything, let alone take care of ourselves. Panic attacks are like anxiety's grand finale, the moment when all those worries and fears decide to throw a full-blown rave in your nervous system. They can be terrifying and debilitating, but it's important to remember that they are not dangerous and they will pass. During a panic attack, you might experience a sudden surge of intense fear or discomfort that peaks within minutes. Your heart might race, you might feel short of breath, and you might even feel like you're having a heart attack or going crazy. It's a lot to handle, but there are ways to cope. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the physical symptoms of anxiety to the emotional, behavioral, cognitive, and even existential dread that can come with it. But the most important thing to remember is that you're not alone. Anxiety is incredibly common, and there is no shame in seeking help if you need it. If you recognize these signs in yourself, please reach out to a mental health professional. Thank you for watching, and remember to be kind to yourself and to each other.